my dreams among the stars while I'm standing on the pavement. Spinning around, lost and found, just trying to make a statement. Lift the weight off my shoulders, set me free. With the birds in the sky is where I'd like to be. Without gravity to hold us down, together we lose sight of the ground.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Valance League. I'm back on here, and this time I'm not on Division 4. Joining me today is Rail to cover this one. We've got Division, what is this, 3A, 3B? We've got
3B.
Division 3. 3B it is, with Prime Tails versus Esports Wales Ice.
And this is definitely all to play for. Prime Tails have been dominating the competition so far. Very clean 2-0s across the board. And probably not looking to drop a game here. Meanwhile, Esports Wales need to pick up this game to start moving up into the table to potentially third if Bob Academy drop their game today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very much all to play for here at week 6 out of 7. And yeah, Prime Tails are looking like this is kind of a household name of Valance League. Everybody knows who Prime Tails are, and the Matching Prime Heads team as well. So we're not really too surprised, I think, to see them be at the top of the table with the legacy that they have in Valance League. But Esports Wales Ice, I believe this is kind of a new brand to come in here. It is great to see the Esports Wales brand representing here in Valance League, but they've got a lot of work to do to overcome Prime Tails because they've had a bit of a mixed season so far.
But also, what a statement it would be if you can take down the likes of Prime Tails. You're going to
Oh
be
yeah.
making such a big statement here, showing that you can beat the best team in this current division. And going into playoffs, that's more or less what you'd want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So the trying to avoid relegations, get into playoffs, get into those promotion series is what they're all looking for as we're into this pick and ban right now. So far, we've got some pretty targeted mid lane bans coming out of Prime Tails, both LeBlanc and Anivia, taken away from Patty the Tank 0-1. And on the other side, it's the Kai'Sa ban. I don't know about you, Rael, but when I'm playing ADC, I'm always banning Kai'Sa in ranked.
Yeah, I really do not blame you. She's still by far the strongest AD carry. The nerf does absolutely nothing to her. She's so hard to punish. She's so flexible.
Yeah.
She can sit back. She can go aggressive. She does everything you want. And on the other side, get rid of Anivia. I'm so happy to see that. I don't ever like playing against Anivia in any 5 statement because that woman would just sit there clearing waves, not allowing you to push, not allowing you to take towers. Just really, really annoying to play against.
Yeah, the control that Nivea exerts over a game is really, really tough to deal with. And the following bans coming through, we've seen Crown Killer's Viego jungle taken away. He has been spamming this pick as of late, but there are plenty of other jungle picks in this guy's pool, and I have to say, he's got great stats on them. He's got more than a 4 KDA on most of his top most played. You know, greater than 50%, sometimes greater than 60 or 70% win rates on these champions. So Crown Killer, I think, is going to be someone to watch going into this game, and it is the Ivern that he's gone for.
Gone for the Ivans, has gone for a more supportive style here. Explains why they just want to get rid of that Viego, getting it off the board. And the thing what makes me really happy on these bans as well, I'm seeing Rel banned. She is so strong, it's unbelievable. She is the best support in the game. Try prove me wrong. She is better than every single support. She does everything you need. She can engage, she can peel. She is just the best support, so I'm really happy to see her banned. And no surprise that we're seeing a Jin pickup. Camille has been spamming this champion non-stop.
Yeah, it looks like these teams are, the players, they're going for comfort right now. It's hard to tell what the comp's going to shape up like, but to be honest, in Valance League, comp cohesion is not necessarily a top priority for these teams, and to be honest, that's kind of fair enough. At this level, just get a champion that you know you can perform on, and there's a lot more room to outplay and just out-skill check your opponents at times, using those picks that you know you can perform on. In the jungle, matching into the Ivern, it's going to be the Rengar pick for Astro. So a common pick for them. The only more frequently played champion be the Hecarim, but the Rengar, I think I'm seeing it come into play a little bit more as of late. Now that the jungle pool's opened up a little bit.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense into this Ivern, especially. Ivern can't use any bushes aggressively or even defensively at that point because you're just giving Rengar a free jump. And this man will happily invade you 24/7, no matter who's coming. Zyra Khan coming into your jungle, he doesn't care. He will be running you down. And just rounding out the comp with an Alistair here, just providing a bit more dive to back up this Rengar.
Yeah, and another premier support on the table. Great CC combinations in that bot side for Jhin and Alistar, but it's kind of matched by the Zyra Khan, the classic lovers duo, in the bot lane for Zway and Drift Banksy. So a pair of strong laning combinations in this bot lane will be clashing very early on, no doubt. Second round of bans kicks off with the Gnar ban. So both teams have the top laner and mid laner still to pick.
Yeah, Gnar, currently the strongest top laner and probably most flexible top laner. The only one coming to par is almost Jace at this point, which is sort of rose up in popularity. So just getting him off the board doesn't want to deal with it. Makes sense because they need some other form of engage to back up the Rakan. It can't just be the Rakan only engaging here because there is a lot of good peel.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Tristana's taken away, so trying to get that off the mid lane pool for Bufu. And looking at the rest of the top laners potentially, to come out for Ollie here, I'm looking the Kennen has been there. There's the Kled, the Shen, Gangplank, plenty of options here, but a lot of very strong team fight presences in this top lane. And with you've already got Xayah, Rakan, and Ivern locked in, you could start to have a really, really nasty 5v5 building up for Prime Tails.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel like if they just draft Renekton here, they're just going to be pretty much set with Ivern, Rakan, and Xayah. It's just going to pretty much be a very easy front to back. Gordrink or Renekton just going to be very hard to take down, but not if he is taken away.
Oh. Stolen away by PC7, sees that one coming and wants to take it for themselves. That is their most played by far. 87 games on this champion with a 61% win rate for PC7. So more comfort up in that top lane. And now that that's the matchup, who are you thinking that Ollie's going to have to turn to get a decent shot at this lane?
Shen is a decent one into Renekton. There's also the Kled as another option. Shen is just a more simple one to pull off, I would say. Because Renekton's still going to be able to heal a lot. So when you take trades, you need to take short trades and get away from him before he gets any healing back onto him. So, more or less expected.
Yeah, there's a Shen coming through with the Morgana as well. This is a Zway or bust team comp right now. We've got technically 4 shielding and healing champions with some engage and CC combos packed in there. If Zway cannot stay alive in these fights and ends up getting picked off or runs out of summoners too fast, the whole team comp for Prime Tails is going to fall apart. But this is a 4-0 team. They know they're playing well together, and I imagine they're picking this because they know they can put their trust in their AD carry.
Well, I have something to tip the scales, Trajan. There's an item called Serpent's Fang.
True.
There are people on the enemy team called Rengar and Jin
Yeah.
who both are very happy building
Ooh,
lethality.
they're eyeing it up.
So if they build this item, possibly as a second or third item, it is going to negate a lot of the shields coming out from this team comp, and just bursting out them shields is just going to make these picks even easier to happen.
Yeah, for sure. And we've seen the Serpent's Fang tech be offered up and talked about for a few patches now, but it's not quite come to fruition just yet. We have actually, for just as like a little side note, the NLC UKLC finals going on right now. We just had a Serpent's Fang built in that game for that exact reason, and it worked out really well. So now, if we can see that tech coming through, the amount of value coming off of this item, I believe it's not been reworked just yet. I think they were changing the way that it deals with shields, either in this patch or the next, but at the very least, it is still a shield destruction item. And yeah, with the Morgana, with the Rakan, the Ivern, and even the Shen ultimate, infinite value here.
I feel like it's super underrated, and more people are starting to clock on how good this is because the item's 2,600. It's got really
Yeah.
easy build paths, serrated dirk, and pickaxe. Boom. There you go. Done. Nothing else. Very easy items to obtain. And 55 damage, 18 lethality, and it deals an extra 70 damage plus 40% of your bonus attack damage to shielded targets. It speaks for itself. It's just a really, really solid item, and more people are starting to catch up on it.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, the amount of lethality that's going to be coming through for Rengar here, like I imagine, well, I guess Rengar actually feels like he has quite a few options to go in terms of the Mythic. Like all three of them seem viable, but I think I've seen Prowler's Claw come online just a lot more recently. A lot of when things like the Rek'Sai as well coming back into the pool, just the sheer numbers that Prowler's Claw gives, it gives the most AD, the most lethality, plus the damage on the dash forward. It's just, if you're looking to one-shot someone, you can't really find better.
15% increase of damage just from Prowler's Claw alone.
Yeah.
Like the numbers speak for itself, and more people are catching on how good Prowler's Claw is. I even called it not too long ago on a cast. You will see Kiana back in the meta very, very soon with Prowler's Claw, and it is terrifying.
I'd be hyped for that, to be honest. I love watching Kiana. I don't, as a caster, I don't like having to say the skill names over and over. It's a bit of a mouthful. But watching the champion is a joy, to be sure. Very impactful across these team fights. Okay, so if we've talked about Rengar, gonna go this lethality. Hopefully, we'll see the Serpent's Fang coming out potentially for Camille as well. Let's touch on the Annie mid lane for Patty the tank, because this is into Morgana, so quite a defensive kind of wave clearing champion. Is there anything that you think Annie can really do into this matchup?
So they both have very simple laning. They both just want to shove each other, and Annie can kind of match Morgana's shove, especially early, which is surprising because Morgana is absurd at pushing early, especially with her pull, being able to shove them waves really, really fast. But Annie's W does a lot of damage, especially to the backline minions. So he's able to really keep up with Morgana's push. But I want to make sure she actually takes cleanse this game, because if she does, Morgana's binding is not going to mean anything. She'll be able to just actually run you down with Annie.
Yeah.
So I actually like this.
Yeah, and I mean it's even more burst, and if you can get that really just instant pop onto Zway, and then the rest of the shielding teammates are literally just like, well, who do we care about now? Where do our eggs go? They're all in this basket, and so they just blew the basket up with a nuke. Where does it go? So if you can actually just get on top of Sway, and he's only got one ultimate, he might have to go for a I mean, I imagine we're not going to see any kind of cleanse or anything like that, but he's got one flash, potentially one heal, one ultimate, and if you're bursting through that before you get to looking, maybe you're abusing some brush vision and you get right on top of them before they can react, the whole thing falls apart, as I said before. So I like the fact that Esports Wales have given themselves multiple ways to do this, to just completely wipe Sway off the map, and I guess that's what I want to see them really focusing on this game.
And the Featherstorm is a very, very long cooldown. Like,
Yeah.
people always underestimate how long it is, especially early game. As soon as that's blown, you can come back again. It's like 2 minute cooldown. You can be back before it's even up. And shielding becomes a lot harder when you're dealing with burst damage. And there's someone we also missed out on the talks we was going over about shield breaking is Renekton.
True.
When he has 50 rage and does his Ruthless Predator, which is his stun, it will break shields.
Wow. That's the more we're looking and talking about this draft, the more it feels like Esports Wales have absolutely draft kingdom this game. They have seen what what Prime Tales have built, and they've just countered it at literally every single stage. And the fact that they even have like a decent bot lane duo that should be able to stand up to Zyra and Rakan, that I think haven't really been able to hit the heights that Zyra Khan was initially designed to be. It doesn't feel like they're an unbeatable lane duo anymore, just because the champions aren't, or like Rakan maybe isn't necessarily in the best spot. Zaya still feels good, but Jhin is still very, very nice. Alistair, probably the premier support right now, and with Aftershock and Ultimate, he's going to be able to get away from tricky situations. So, Esports Wales, they put themselves in probably the best position to take this game one at least over Prime Tails, and we'll see if they can get it done.
Yeah, with Rel off the table, I'd definitely say Alistair just stands out as the
Yeah.
next go-to.
For sure.
And Renekton is pretty much one of the next premier top laners as well. Like Jace, Renekton, Gnar, it's literally that triangle right now. They are the best top laners to lean on. And the stats speak for themselves. Like, they're so consistent. It is so hard to punish a Renekton. So hard. And you have the likes of a Shen Ivern. Can you ever really punish Renekton? It's going to be very hard to do so.
Yeah. I'm looking quickly at before we land up at the 10-second mark, sync up with our producer very quickly. I'm now at 10 seconds, just as a reference there.
Give me 2 seconds. I'm now at 10 seconds.
Perfecto. There we are, and we're back straight into it. So, the question I have for you, Rail, is Astro has gone for the fleet footwork this game. He's not gone for any, I forget what the red tree is called, any, like, huge burst skills. He's gone for maybe a bit more movement speed and sustain in a way. Do you feel like this is the right choice for him, or would you prefer to see something a bit more aggressive?
It definitely helps with mobility, but CJ, look what's occurring right now. Both teams are going to meet up if they're not careful.
Are they going to see each other? Did Patty see them? Oh,
Think
but
they
they've got the
see.
warp, but they missed the brush. But here's the flash. Pulverize, and out comes Rengar. The brush damage is massive. Just Banksy, though, gets with the initial engage, and now it's Alistair falling down. The first blood going to be taken by the Morgana. Camille fires back onto Ollie, and PC7 with the rage stacked up. But can he get anything out of it? Full shot for Camille. Wants to finish off the Rakan, gets the double kill, and Astro has the brushes now. And now it should be so hard to escape them. A kill to Patty the tank. Sway trying to punish Camille, but the speed from the passive full shot. It's an explosive level 1. 3 kills though for Esports Wales, just the one for Prime Tails.
So 3 for 1 there. It's absolutely huge. The Alistair flash engage was really, really good, but you gotta remember, as soon as Alistair's used that, he has nothing for a very, very long time. So if he was punished, he was the first blood to go down, but trading 3 kills for your Alistair, definitely more than worth it.
Yeah, and somehow, I mean, Alistair has the Hex Flash as well, so isn't as upset about losing that Flash. Camille did lose both summoners on the bot side, but Zwei lost the heal, Banksy lost the Flash, so the engage is a little bit muted there, and Crown Killer as well is flashless. So if Astro is going to be as aggressive on the invades that, you know, would probably be the right call here, the Crown Killer could find himself on the wrong end of a Rengar inside his jungle very quickly.
And I don't think Ivan got to recall, because if you look at his HP, he is
dead,
so low. So he can't even steal Rengar's red buff away.
Doesn't have the HP for it, like, just strictly doesn't have the resources. That is very good to try and neutral Crown Killer early on. I mean, he's a great Ivern player, plenty of games and experience under his belt, but with a start like this, there's only potentially so much you can do.
And Jhin actually got the recall off, he got the dagger and the boots, so he is a lot more healthier. If you look at Zwei, he is low on the health bar down there.
Yeah, they are abusing this power a lot right now. Shrieker, as we say, didn't have the flash. It does have the Hex Flash. I imagine Zwei and Drift Banksy just going to have to try and stabilize. In comes the Hex Flash. Actually gets double with the Headbutt Pulverize, and the Deadly Flourish blocked by Drift Banksy. Looking for the re-engage down the ground. Entrance knocks up onto Camille. The feathers will be dragged back, but nothing much happens down there. Top lane has a little scrap as well. So we see both bot lanes happy to fight it out, and Patty the tank, same in mid lane. Though Bafu did get that Dark Seal straight away from the first blood gold.
He did indeed, but Patty has actually opted towards the TP this game. No cleanse, which is interesting, but we'll see how well that pays off later in the game. Ivan spotted out in the bot lane here, gives a lot of information over.
First gank attempted will come to nothing. They will at least get that bot lane crab, as Astro's now on that top side completing the red buff. So Crown Killer still managed to get through the jungle pretty speedily, as the entire bot side was cleared by Rengar. But I mean, potentially Astro just wants to get that level 6 super early, right? And then start those ganks kicking off.
Yeah, for sure. I'm also very surprised to see Renekton actually opted towards the Doran shield. when he is the more dominating in the factor in this top lane 1v1. So he actually opted towards the defensive route and faced quite early for Ruby Crystal and Boots just now.
It's a trend across esports Wales, right? We've got the Fleet Whipper for Astro, we've got the Doran Shield for PC7, and the TP for Panic the Tank. So quite a few utility or defensive options taken instead of the offensive option, which, you know, if you're going against Prime Tails, maybe this is a very strong team. You don't want to lose out early, but there's potentially room for them, I think, to go a bit more aggressive, especially with the draft kingdom that they've got for themselves.
Oh, for sure. And the Jin Trap's just paying off in that bot lane,
Yeah.
negating that second attempt of a gank, even bringing Morgana down this time, and it's just a wasted attempt. So far, Ivan's not been able to get anything off. And this is the beauty of Jin picking up these boots really early. It's going to be much harder to jump on, much harder to land any CC on. He's going to be sitting safe.
Absolutely. Prime Tails, still, they know what their win con is. Their win con has a name, and he's called Sway. But if they can't get any kills on him in lane, if they can't get him out of this little hole that he started the game in, then there's not that much to be done.
My biggest question is, you've seen that Camille has absolutely spammed Jin. You look in his history, you'll catch like 1 or 2 Kai'Sa games, and then it's all Jin. And they gave it over willingly, saying, okay, we'll happily play against your Jin, which we can't punish.
Yeah, and I mean, people were originally picking the Xayah because it was a good Kai'Sa matchup, right? That was like why Xayah came back into the meta, was because she had the range to abuse Kai'Sa, at least in lane.
And this is what I felt like they fell short on. They could have banned away the Jin, forcing him onto that Kai'Sa. That way you've literally got what you wanted here.
Yeah, you'd have the counter, you'd have the setup, and maybe they'd be in a better spot. Though it must be said, of course, game is not over just yet. It's looking great for Esports Wales. They've been set up for success early on, but they are going to have to take that ball and run with it. They cannot let Prime Tails stabilize and scale up because, you know, if this is a team that's able to play together very coordinated, the shields that they have could still come in useful before Esports Wales are able to get those critical items on deck.
Yeah, so far, it's not even much gold difference, so exactly what you said, not over by any means, and there's still ways they can come back into this game in a big way, because this team is undefeated for a reason.
Yeah, we look like a potential gank setup here on a pink ward for Astro, and the Annie ult is available. Panic Tank has the flash, could choose to just go for the stun and look for the burst. Ivern is near, but not too far now. In comes Panic the Tank, Black Shield is there. Can they burst through it, though? Bola will just be immunized, and that is going to whiff with that gank.
Yeah, choosing not to waste the flash there. Wise decision, just keeping their very stable position in this lane without blowing any summoners, because if you blow that and you don't get the Morgana there, you are then a gank target for Ivan for sure.
Yeah, it's going to get a lot trickier for you. It's PC7 now crashing another wave from the top lane. Has a very strong CS lead, abusing the power of this Renekton top laner, Doran's Blade or not. Still looks very comfortable. They even went for the health and the boots afterwards, so still very little AD on deck, but still very abusive in the matchup nonetheless.
Yeah, very, very abusive, and just shoving in the lane constantly, so Shen is losing CS under tower. Right now, Shen able to collect a little bit and start trying to work back at that CS lead, but Renekton is starting to get away with things in top lane.
Just got that pickaxe there, so now the AD is coming in, and it's going to be up to Ollie to try and weather that one. Does have the ultimate though. The Shen stand united prepared, and maybe around this dragon they could look for a fight using that advantage. PC7 though has shown up on his own accord, and they've got 5 members on the Drake to kick it off. Let's see what the response is from Prime Tails, considering their jungler is on the other side of the map. We actually got a straight headbutt away from Streaker 150 to get Bafu out of the area, and it looks like it's going to be easily sewn up for Esports Wales.
Yeah, really, really easy pickup, really nice rotation, and Renekton's just able to... Oh!
A little flash route.
Disrespect to the flash route to deny the Renekton TP. I think that's actually worth it. You're going to help Shen catch up in the top lane there by doing that alone. And Renekton is going to lose a very big wave in that top side. So I respect that. I think that's super worth from Crown Killer here.
Crown Killer taking the micro advantages here to get his team back in the game. That's what you want from your Ivern player. So, Shane, you've got a little bit more, had a chance to farm up a little bit, gone straight into the Bammies, clearly going towards those steel toe caps before too long. And we'll see if he can continue to stabilize in this top lane. Still ultimates available, and we haven't really seen a proper fight just yet. All three of this 1-3 scoreline was accrued in the first 40 seconds.
It was indeed. I hope we've seen something different from Shen actually with this cloth armor. There is the classic duo of the Bami Cinder into the Bramble Vest. I hope we see the Bramble Vest very early. Just denying any Renekton's healing is absolutely huge in helping your trading against him.
Very true. Streaker going for this pink ward does call it off nice and early though, not greeding for it, and has to use the flash still, but will not give their life up as there was no ultimate ready. So good judgment call there.
Very good judgment call. And something we have failed to mention, Annie's shield given movement speed now. People always forget about this. It's a lot of movement speed. Already it's 31% increase of movement speed, decaying over 1.5 seconds.
Crownkiller's actually going to discover Astro here. EC7 coming down, but Ollie's following, and the rest, a couple more members from Esports Wales, but who's going to get the edge? Astro actually goes solo and goes down to Driftbanks' Ignite with the jungler down. This fight is basically lost off the bat. What was that damage?
Damage was absurd, and now they're back on level terms in terms of gold, and also got a Rift Herald to their name. Question is, where can they shove this down? They might not look to place it straight away, but mid is definitely an option.
Crownkiller coming in with Daisy and Driftbanksy in tow. They've got a wave pushing up here, might choose to go for it. Having a look around, I think they might be. PC7's fighting with Ollie in his top side and is losing out in this trade pretty bad. Gets the Fury back though, has the Dominus if needed. And there goes the Herald down in mid lane. So Plate Gold going to be picked up by the jungle mid duo for Prime Tails.
Funneling a fair bit of gold into this Morgana here. She's going to be working towards that Leandrius, and it's going to be a lot of damage. Alistair is being jumped on here.
Ooh, double quickness lands on two, but Zway is so far away. Can they get anything done here? Streaker though gets that stun, does drop the ultimate to try and get back to the tower. Done, rooted up, I should say, by the Featherstorm. Exhaust is used, Pulverize dropped as well. Astro catches Crownkiller, and through this shield with the jumps is likely going to find this kill. But another shield from Ollie. This time United keeps him alive, and they're going to take down Astro again. Patty the tank will at least get the kill on Ivern, but man, this Rengar is getting denied at every turn.
Yeah, what are you going to do against the shield comp? That is the second Shen ult denying this Rengar, and it's paying off. So we talked about the flaws of this comp. We talked about how they would lack damage, but it's not going to matter if you can't get through the shields right now. And in this early game, it's been very hard for them to do so.
Yeah, for sure. At this early stage, without the shield cutting abilities outside of PC7, you see Esports Wales struggling to make their advantage stick, and they've actually gone down now by 800 gold to Prime Tails. They did still get that first dragon, but looks like Prime Tails are abusing the power of their comp while they still can, for sure.
Definitely abusing that early game really, really well. And they have means of late game as well. They're not going to struggle by any means if they get to late game. Morgana, very, very good AP scaling. Zaya obviously speaks for herself, being a very, very strong hyper carry. So they do have reassurance if they get towards that late game, and shield breaking abilities come in a bit more, especially with the items.
Paddy the Tank is holding onto a one-plate tower right now. We do see a lot of blue members kind of tending up towards mid lane, maybe having a look to see if they can get something done. And now that they are down TP, down Flash, there is potential vulnerability there, as you were talking about before. But it's up to the side of Prime Tails to try and exploit that. It's up to Patty the Tank to identify that and play safely enough.
Rengar trying to get something off in the top side, but to no avail. Renekton kind of pushing in the lane, so it's kind of going to deny any gank coming out here. Just a little bit of trading back and forth.
Both junglers hanging around here, and they were going to spot Crownkiller there. I'm not sure if they know Astro is there. He may have gone over the Duckle's vision, but maybe not. He's taking this 2 versus 2, and this is not one they win right now. Astro is behind Daisy, but Crownkiller back at the safety of the tower. PC7 flashes forward and secures the kill. Can they get the healing? But one more tower shot, and Ollie will snap it up. Astro trying to flee as the Shen with red buff is pretty dangerous right now. Misses the shadow dash, but the ult comes through, and a flash will secure a double kill for Ollie Shen in the top side.
A red buff Shen is actually terrifying to play against, and he just runs them down. They committed too hard for the Ivern there, flashing under tower, taking 3 tower shots for that one, and end up getting taken down. And they're also going to lose their blue buff for this, on top of the dragon as well.
Great response by Prime Tails. Without the jungler even there, they take the Ocean Dragon and they started up that blue buff as well. So they are going to punish and kind of group together there. Patty the Tank still stoically in the middle lane, but I think that's kind of fine. The 3 versus 3 is pretty difficult right now, given Bafu has the Lianku's Anguish done.
And it was just payday for Rakan there. picking up some free wards, getting them extra gold in his pocket. Even has a bounty on the table. He is one of the few members who have a bounty right now. It is Rakan and Shen.
Potential problem that we have right now for Esports Wales is like whether they're even going to be able to get a chance to get these shield cutting items, or at least the power to burst through them, as Rengar is now 0, 3, and 4. It's been completely stifled in this early game. And I mean, Rengar, if you're not able to do the damage, then there's not really anything else that this champion is doing.
Yeah, we have a clip being built on Rengar here, so we're not going to get the Prowler's Claw, unfortunately. Going for the more classic route, I'd say. And mid lane tower being cracked open here is absolutely huge. Going to open way more of this map.
Yeah, plus that extra gold extends the gold lead for Prime Tails to a little over 2,000. So still keeping up the steady positive performance, and let's see if they can keep it up through this middle game as the lanes will start to crumble, as you say, off that mid lane tower.
And I think to note, I sort of thought this in Champ Select. The PTM Renekton is a little bit of a mistake here. It's going to pressure early game a little bit, but it's going to fall off really hard mid and late game, and that's why I generally prefer Conqueror, especially when there is a tank you are laning against.
He's going to start up this fight there. Doesn't get the stun as the Spirit's Refuge will keep Ollie safe just now, but Astra has returned once again. Crown Killer ready and waiting for the counter gank, and they're just going to have to pull this one off. Bafu actually rotating up the mid lane as well. Astra needs to try and get himself out of dodge. There's no flash on Ollie, but he's going to force the flash out of Astra from the Shadow Dash. Dark Binding will not land. Bola slowing down Bafu and a route to follow. So a lot of committal up this top side. Patty the tank rotating up too, though. I want to see more out of this Annie before too long.
This is the second time Crown Killer has completely read this Rengar and just denied him every chance of just making something happen. It happened to Crown Killer early, but then Crown Killer's doing the same to this Rengar. And so far, like we said, Rengar is really not able to make much happen. We need to see more from the other members on the team, especially the Fed members. Annie, the Jin, we need to see a bit more agency from him, I should say.
Bafu flashes forward, actually forces the Gale Force and flash out of Camille, and another from Streaker though will open up the curtains call on bot side. If they can get another shot, the 4-shot will get the execute damage, but it's not enough and doesn't land regardless. So Bafu TPing, pushing them away from that bot lane tower as the Xayah and Rakan have taken the Rift Herald on the top side.
Respect for that flash from the Morgana, not gonna lie, it was very, very ballsy, but it actually blew a summoner from Camille and saved the tower.
Yeah, looks like on this bot side they're trying to get a dive off, but the Morgana wave clear is completely evaporating the minions. They won't even get a chance to get there. And on this top side, the second Rift Herald is going to put top lane tower under a lot of pressure with Ollie and Crown Killer there. PC7 looks like he doesn't want to give it up for free. Gets that stun on the tower. Ollie will take a shot or two, takes down the Herald, but with the bot lane arriving as well, we could see a 4-man dive on our hands.
Definitely Rengar's in no man's land here.
Yeah, in comes the taunt. Dominus will come through, getting a lot of damage back, but Ollie is so tanky already, and Sway picks it up, plus the tower to boot. Well executed play for Prime Tails here, and they keep shoving this way.
They're going to keep shoving that ring. Shen already has that Frostfire Gauntlet, which is so cheap. It's 2,800 with the plated steel caps on top. He is already so tanky already in this team.
He's going to get bigger and bigger with the Mythic passive there, making, I'm pretty sure it makes the Shadow Dash even wider. I think the hitbox is basically Ollie's body. So big Shen, big taunt, it's all going to be synergizing down the road as Cloud Drake's going to be coming up pretty soon. This went relatively well for Esports Wales. The last time they had a fight over it, they were able to have control over the pit. But let's see how it goes this time, because they have been on the losing end of every fight since.
Nearly a 4k gold lead right now. Also, using his tools very early there. Gonna have to wait a while for them to come back up for this.
Yeah, Renekton, PC7 does have the TP, but it's still a little way away. Patty the tank clearing out that bot wave, hanging around looking for a glass cone play, perhaps. Zwei is actually not there yet. It's taking the red buff, but with the pressure that they have, Prime Tails are able to take control of this river still and start fighting onto PC7, but they get the pink ward, who is going to be the first to kick this fight off. Astros here. Daisy comes out, and they might just start this one up using the zoning potential.
Yeah, already they are forced completely out. Get no entrance in here. Pretty much going to be bursted down for free. They can't get in.
Yeah, Astro trying to take down Daisy at least, but the dragon has already fallen. That makes it 2 for the side of Prime Tails, and then now got a 4k gold lead going into the 18.5-minute mark. So Esports Wales, they need to stop the bleeding somehow, even if it's not just not taking fights until you get some items. I mean, Annie doesn't even have the mythic yet.
Yeah, doesn't even have a mythic yet. And he must be on a fair bit of gold though, because she's more or less not too far away on CS. She's only first CS down here. Could have been a lot worse because it is a Morgana who is in the lead right now. So Annie shouldn't be too far away from a mythic. Jin also picking up the serrated Dirk. Let's hope he is building Serpent's Fang here.
Yeah, hopefully not just going into the cookie cutter collector builds, but we shall see how that goes down. Another turret dropped in that middle lane as well, bringing the total prime tails up to 4. They've got decent vision around the river. On that top side especially, see a deep little pink ward there they might look to make a play from, but maybe it's Bafu who stepped a little too far forward. Or not.
Or not. Just looking to try claim some of his jungle Bafu, just trying to be annoying at the same point.
This Streaker is going to find his way on top of him now, and Astro is there with the exhaust. This has got to be a kill, but they have a stopwatch ready to make it more difficult. A TP actually committed as well. Seems like a bit of overkill, as Bafu is sure to fall to Astro if he can get one more hit down. Actually, Streaker headbutts in and takes it just in case they had the chance to get away. And they're not going to lose too much for this TP, I guess. There's no top lane pushing in, really.
Yeah, there's really no other objectives to be claimed on the map right now, so Bafu being taken down really does not mean too much, and Alistair, the one pretty much claiming the gold for that, really is not going to do too much for you here.
Is going to catch PC7 around there. Does Dominus actually drop down with that root? A flash, stun, combo from Patty the Tank, and there's the shutdown. This is what Esports Wales wanted. They get on top of Sway as well, and both bot laners have fallen. Now, Esports Wales, they managed to get an Aniel onto the table, and they take an instant win off it.
So that is the damage just being shut out. Zaya couldn't get too much off there. She had flash to safety, but Renekton had flash to follow that up, so she was completely doomed. And just the clean combo we have been waiting for. Annie getting that big stun there.
Yeah, now Streaker's got round behind the side of Prime Tails, hanging around this top lane. Crown Killer is going to be easily dispatched by Camille. Astro's coming through, but the tower is still available top lane. Unlikely to get anything there. Let's see what Esports Wales choose to do with this. Looks like they're going to go for a reset, just get some gold. And that's probably the right choice here, as Bafu is still very strong.
Bafu is very strong, so having him off the table actually meant a lot here. And us to find an engage.
Another one onto Bafu straight away. He doesn't have the stopwatch this time. He could just go down. Flashes over the wall to safety. Drift Banksy is there. Astro hunting, searching, and is going to get that jump over the wall using the vision. Bafu with nowhere left to run, and that's going to be Astro picking up their first kill of the game. So that's suddenly so many kills picked up by Esports Wales. The comp doing what it should have been doing.
And narrowing down that gold lead now. Only a 2k gold lead, closing the gap there. And they have all to play for. They're not going to want to go down without a fight, and they are showing it.
I love that you could see Streaker ping into mid lane as well. He's thinking, all right, I'm feeling it now. I've got like 4 engages in a row. Let's go in, guys. Let's go in again and again and again and again. And if he can keep getting the setup for Annie, then by all means, fill your boots, man. Get on top of them.
Yeah, this is just the Alistair persona, really. Like, as soon as you get that one great engage, you're like, all right, I can do this. I can get all of these engages. This is so free. And it showed. It honestly showed. His aggression to find these engages actually paid off in the end. And we're now 10 kills to 6.
Yeah, the gold lead cut in half by those series of plays there. Next dragon up in a little over a minute, so I imagine we'll see another altercation over that one. And with most of the red vision focused on this top side of the map, Esports Wales are going to have to spend some time setting up their own jungle again, because you don't want to be walking into no dark bindings.
Definitely not. Like last time, they weren't able to get any entrance into this dragon. They need to find their way in quite early, otherwise it's just going to be just as hard.
Yep, Ollie on the top side. Flash, TP, and Stand United ready as well to come running as soon as the team calls. Meanwhile, getting a nice push on that top side. So I kind of want to see Esports Wales commit to something quickly and be the aggressors here. Streaker with the Hex Flash over the wall, but kited back by Prime Tails. Camille's not even here right now. He's farming the bot wave, and all of this time, Ollie's getting closer and closer as that top lane tower start finding lands. Drift Banksy engages onto the Asa. The ult will keep him alive there. Patty the Tank drops the ult up his way. It's still very healthy. Drops that Feather Storm. Candy on top of him. Takes down PC7. Dragging back to the late corner. It's a double kill now. And with the man advantage, they can take the fight win. It's going to be a 3rd dragon for Prime Tails.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Camille was doing there, spending so much time farming inside while his team is losing the position on Dragon. And now this is going to cost him Baron as well because there's no contestions. Your jungler is dead.
No recourse here for Esports Wales, and that fight goes very, very south. We didn't see the same combo onto Sway, and they were taking that opportunity as soon as it was offered. Now 3-1 and 3 with the double kill there. Great Featherstorm and Blade Crawler combo. Stop PC7. Ollie dives into that pit just to help him secure it. Camille, I guess, gonna go hang out in his favorite place, gonna go hang out in the bot lane.
And also, I've seen something in someone's inventory, which makes me a very sad top laner. Renekton's building Black Cleaver. Now, the key element of Gore Drinker, you go Sterak straight after, and it makes you so hard to kill. And not having a Sterak against this team comp where you need to be that front line, you need to be surviving a bit longer, he's really going to hurt you here.
Yeah, they have the damage. They've got Camille, they've got Astro, he's got an item and a half down, they've got Patty the Tank scaling up. Yeah, you really need some frontline to pressure Sway, but it doesn't have to be PC7 getting the one-shot here.
And also, we got the Collector completed. It's not what we want. We need a Serpent's Fang. We need shield break. If you want to be contesting this game, we need to break the shields. How are you going to do it otherwise?
Yep, it just looks like the standard kind of cookie cutter crit build for Camille there, and with the amount of armor already coming through onto Ollie, and even the Zhonya's being done for Zway. Drift Banks, see a fair amount of defense as well, but they're going to maybe find Bafu here with the combo, or Zway I should say. Patty the Tank throws a combo out, but can't follow it up. Blade Crawler there, Bafu covering the retreat, doesn't land the stun, but the quickening will lock up Streaker, and Zway gets the final kill. Meanwhile, on the backside, this engagement onto Camille has been flash taunted on. Can they escape? They cannot. It's a shutdown, and Astro can't do anything the other side because Zway opting into this fight with the flash. It's a rampage for Xayah. 5-1 and 3. Prime Tails taking wins all across the jungle.
You know things aren't going well when there's a Xayah flashing and running down your Rengar. It's showing that this Rengar pick really did not pay off in this game, and they're looking to push inhibitor, and they could possibly look to the end. They still have Baron minions here.
Yep, they're gonna have this hefty wave coming through. Looks like they're thinking about it, but not quite sure. They're taking it nice and easy. Maybe a little respect from Patty the Tank. Those Streaker gets in with a classic engage, gets a couple of people, but it's taunted up and drops down. And Banksy now diving in with another two-man grand entrance, and that is going to seal the deal, surely. It's a double kill for Shen now. The towers are going to be falling. Astro's off the fountain, as is Camille, but what can they do against 5 members of Prime Tails with the Baron Duck minions?
Quick thing was only a 51-second cooldown. That's crazy how quick he got it back. It felt like that was only like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Just what a dominating performance from Prime Tails. That little hiccup in the early game, and then they had one a bit later, and then they just said, all right, let's group, just follow me. We stay on top of Xayah. No one touches Xayah. And exactly what happened. No one could kill her. They got the surprise burst onto Zway. Did he die? No.
Yeah, they played the comp out really, really well. And as you were saying early on, they abused that early game so well that they used the power of their comp before Esports Wales Draft had a chance to scale up and become relevant. And just looking at the damage graphs here, Bafu did over twice as much damage as any single member of Esports Wales Ice. That is how much work Bafu was doing behind the scenes on this pick. And when you know, like I say, they just didn't get a chance to flex that power after getting such a good start as well.
Yeah, they got such a great start, but they weren't able to pressure it anywhere on the map. Wasn't able to get any picks, and every gank what he tried to make happening as Rengar was just caught out by Ivan 24/7.
Yeah, really, really great play by Prime Tail, showing why they are our #1 team right now, taking a 1-0 lead in this series. But I guess to name a little player of the game here, we can go for each one for each game. There's a lot of members of Prime Tails committing a lot to this game, but who do you feel stands out?
It's quite a hard one actually, because for me, it's between Crown Killer and Bafu.
Mm,
Reason being, both these players denied any entrances to any objectives. They denied any ganks happening to either one of them. Even in that one in mid lane, Bafu was just completely untouchable, just saying, you can't gank me, I'm staying far back, you're making it obvious. Then Crown Killer was just more or less doing the same, just denying any ganks, any chance of pushing a lead. He was doing that.
Yeah, very true. Fulfilling that role expertly. And I mean, who cares about Zway's 714 when you have a Rakan, Morgana, Shen, and Ivern on the team? I mean, good
Yeah,
job. You
I,
you you
I,
got you won as ADC with 4 supports. Genius.
that's the main reason why I didn't say his way. Like his position was good, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, and he did play well. But you have a comp built around you having to play well. If you don't play well with 4 supports, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, that was set up for success and then absolutely succeeded with that one. So, not to take away from the guy, but for sure, I really liked Crown Killer's performance in this game. And now we've got to see what Esports Wales can do with their knowledge. What we thought was a great draft for them and a great start for them, they still weren't able to outplay and outmaneuver Prime Tails in the early game. So, we're going to go to a very short break just now, and we will be back before too long with the second game of this series to see if Esports Wales can bring it back.
I'm just calling to say I
If I had known then what I know now, I wouldn't have said what I said. I took the long road, thought I'd be better on my own. Sometimes what's right is wrong instead. 'Cause I was too young, and I didn't understand that you were the one. And I can't wait to see you again. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. Can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. Hindsight is fleeting when your heart's bleeding and all you can see is red. Till you discover it is within each other to forgive and make amends. If I had known then what I know now, I wouldn't have said what I said. I took the long road, thought I'd be better on my own. Sometimes what's right is wrong instead. 'Cause I was too young, and I didn't understand was too young, and I didn't understand that you were the one. And I can't wait to see you again.
And we're back here for game two. Prime Tails taking the first win over Esports Ice with a heavy shielding comp. So now I think we're going to see some shakeups for Esports Wales. And I think, Rael, we were talking off air about how we're unlikely to see the Astro Rengar again after such a tilted game one.
Yeah, that would definitely can see any Rengar anymore. Was it able to show any aggression or even get any invades off despite such a good early lead for his team? It meant absolutely nothing.
Yeah, he got shot down so hard by Crown Killer with the shields with Daisy with just a great counter gank timing, showing his pedigree in the jungle there. So we get straight back into the pick and ban and we'll see if they want to shake it up. One thing that is remaining is that Rel.
Not a surprise. Such a strong champion, can't iterate enough. She is just so good, and this time I don't think we're gonna see a 4 shield comp from Prime Tails. We might see something a bit different. If not, Serpent's Fang, what is it? No one knows. I don't know anymore.
I think it's a fake item. I don't think it's real. I think you made it up.
I must have made it up. It's fake.
It's just you just dreamed for an item that could deal with shielding champions, and it gave you Serpent's Fang. Sadly, no such thing exists, I believe. So the Senna is going to be the first ban on the side of Prime Tails. And I mean, so last time Esports Wales, they took away the Viego jungle for Crank. That's been spamming it, to be fair. Do you feel like they take the Ivern away now, or do they just try and maybe find a better answer to it?
I think they find a better answer to it. I think Viego is very hectic to play against because he can be so annoying with his invulnerability when he takes someone's soul. I think you just don't want to play against it because I would be the same. Just get him off, get rid of him, and there he goes.
Remove it from the pool, as they've actually taken the Jhin away on the side of Esports Wales. The Kai'Sa banned on the other side by Prime Tails here, and they've got the first blue side pick. So I wonder what the bot side choice, the AD carry, is going to be for Esports Wales here.
There is a few very strong ones right now, which people have been sleeping on. Definitely. I'm going to wait to see before I go further on that.
The Ezreal locked in here, which, to be fair, given the new Essence Reaver Duskblade build, does seem to have a far better time in that early stage, whereas before you could get really heavily punished by champions like Jhin just by having such a weak laning phase. Now you can kind of bridge that gap a little bit more, it feels like.
Yeah, for sure. But it still falls down into the same issue of dealing with tanks. That's the only issue with that build. And that's why I feel like Divine Sundra shines better sometimes. So it's going to be, depending on what comp the enemy team go for, it's going to depend on what Ezreal build we're going to get hit.
Yeah, hoping for a little bit more flexibility in the build pass in this game if needed, as on the far side. Prime Tails trying to pick up the Thresh support and the Mordekaiser top lane. So Ollie this time going for the blind pick, laying down a bit of a gauntlet there.
And pretty strong blind pick, to be honest. Mordekaiser has received back-to-back buffs on patches what have been recent. Recently got a lower E cooldown, his grab. So very, very good into tanks. And this is just someone who's absolutely free for Mordekaiser. This is a free matchup into the Shen. Obviously, Shen can be flexible, can be thrown to support here. But I don't think Ollie needs to worry at all facing the Shen matchup.
Yeah, we might see a much easier ride for Ollie up in this top side. And last time, despite going down a little bit in lane, was having great Stand United plays to assist the team. And now it's a different kind of style here, looking instead to dominate that lane and control the side lanes a little bit more in the 1v1. However, on the bot side, it's the Ezreal Yuumi, the classic cancer combo, locked in for Esports Wales. But against the Thresh, if you catch one now, you catch both.
And Mordekaiser also helps with Ezreal Yuumi. You take one, Yumi's left on her own. As soon as Mordekaiser ults Ezreal, Yuumi is left and she has to jump to someone new. And that's just a prime opportunity to kill Yuumi.
Yeah, could be very exploitable in these later fights, as the Yasuo locked in, assumedly for Bafu in that mid lane. About as different a champion as you could get from Morgana mid going into the second game here.
Sharpening my feathers.
And also, we have a little update from the other games going on. Bob Academy are 1-0 up against OP Nerds Boomer, which is not what you want to hear if you're an Esports Wales fan.
No, you've now got even more pressure on you to turn this series around and get the win over your belt, because Bob Academy are challenging them with their current standings position, and they need to try and leapfrog them if they want to keep themselves safe. So, as the final stages of this second bans come through, it's a lot of mid lane targeting on one side, Zoe and Yone, taken away from Patty the Tank. On the other side, the Xayah is removed, and the Hecarim jungle.
Interesting that they're the ones to ban the Hecarim, because you have the Shen, so it sets you up for the Shen Hecarim combo, but they're just banning away the Hecarim, don't want to deal with any fear or long range engage.
No, they do not want to see that one. And we're seeing what Zway's pick's going to be. However, the Aphelios currently on the Vayne now, but actually just going to go over to the Aurelion Sol. So we might actually have ourselves a little Yasuo Thresh bot lane, potentially.
I definitely think we have a Yasuo Fresh bot lane. We're going to have a very, very aggressive bot lane. Something very, very different from last game. Camille's not going to be allowed to play safe, especially into a fresh Yasuo.
Yeah, and I mean, Ezreal's got Arcane Shift, yes. They have one Arcane Shift. And a lot of their spells, including the Yuumi ult, I think, can be blocked by the Wind Wall. I think Yuumi ult counts a projectile. I'm not 100% on that. But I guess we'll find out as soon as level 6 hits, because I imagine that Zway and Driftbanksy will be looking to ult on top of them ASAP.
Oh dear. Now that is very spicy. We have a Twitch jungle coming through here.
Yes. We've dropped the Rain Guard, and we've gone for something quite different once again. A lot of Twitch games for Astra so far, as most played in this ranked season. It has been mostly in the bot lane or support role, But Twitch jungle has always been a thing, and judging by his match history, it's likely to be an AP Twitch as well.
Wait a minute. What the hell is going on here?
Um,
It looks like these might actually be the roles we're getting here. Because no one is swapping right now, so we might actually be having an Alistar top lane with a Mordekaiser jungle, with Yasuo mid and Aurelion Sol bot lane. Now that's something I have not seen at all.
Yeah, we've not heard anything in terms of proxy picks or anything of that nature, so we have to just kind of assume that this is the chosen lineup here. So okay, so let's throw out everything we thought was gonna be the case in this game. We are actually gonna reset here, so the pick bans. We might have some proxies. We'll have to confirm. Um, but we'll update you guys as we know. So I guess let's just focus on Esports Wales team just to just to make sure before we can confirm exactly which champions are being played by Prime Tails. So we've got a Twitch jungle, and if it's an AP Twitch jungle, does AP Twitch jungle work as well as AD Twitch jungle, or is it a slower? Is it faster?
I think you have the opportunity to go either here. Like both will be applicable. I think AP is just going to be way more bursty for you for sure,
Hmm.
and going to help a lot. And um, in terms of the Aurelion Sol bot lane, apparently they have already played it before. So this is not the first time they're actually playing this bot lane. So they are more than confident with playing this, and this is going to be so niche to play against. It's going to be so difficult to play against because they're not used to playing against stuff like this bot lane.
No, I don't think anyone's used to playing against stuff like this bot lane. It's pretty confident that no one has experience in this matchup, and we are getting back in. There was just a quick DC from Camille, apparently, in the bot lane, so everything picks and bans will be the same, so you are going to still get these crazy comps, so now we can talk about them, I guess. Bufu is still Yasuo in the mid lane. That's kind of normal. We can deal with that. But top lane, it's no longer the abusive Mordekaiser Shen matchup. It's Alistar Shen. So, as a resident top laner yourself, Rael, I mean, I assume you're very familiar with the Alistar top. I'm sure it's a classic pickup there. So, why don't you tell us how you feel this matchup's going to play out?
So it's actually not that bad, and there's actually a player in Korea what's been doing it for a while now into the Sunfire build, just because it's very consistent, and obviously the damage is going to come through from the Sunfire more or less alone, and you're able to just make someone completely irrelevant because you can constantly keep pushing them off the wave, you can constantly keep bullying them, not allowing them to do anything in the laning phase. But Shen is a different option. It is very much harder to do into Shen, especially with Shen having good early game damages. Shen's going to be tanky himself. So
Yeah.
in terms of Sunfire damage, he's going to return the Sunfire damage for sure. It's just whether Alice is just going to combo and probably run away after.
Yeah, it's as we were talking about in game one, a very long cooldown on that combo, so you get one nice trade and then run for your life because you've spent all your abilities and you just got to get out of there. So we'll see if Ollie can get that one done, and it does offer a great Yasuo setup for later on, so that might be a part of picking into it with both Thresh and Alistar. There, you've got a lot of ways to enable Bufu in the mid and late game.
So the thing what's going to be interesting for me to watch in that top lane is how well is Alistar going to CS? Because CSing with Alistar is difficult from past experience. When it used to be the Sheen Trinity, it used to be quite difficult back then, and his autos haven't really got smoother since. So I want to see how well he keeps up with CS in this top side.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one for sure. Maybe PC7 gets a chance to abuse that top lane once again. So if that's the top lane covered, but I guess we'll see how that plays out. We do have the Aurelion Sol Thresh bot lane as well into Ezreal Yumi. So having a mage in bot lane generally gives you more early game power, just because your early items and your ability based damage scales up harder than your auto attacks do. So if they can catch them out, there's potentially a lot of threat there, and there is the massive stun that Zway can bring. Maybe some like whatever his E is called, the Cosmic Journey or something of that nature, where he flies over with a massive stun straight into the bot lane. Could look for some plays there.
Yeah, that is an option. And sorry to drift off a little bit because we also have LeBlanc getting through this time round.
Oh, true.
Because she was banned in the last set of rotation. This time she's actually getting through, and we're gonna see if Patty the Tank can show us why LeBlanc was banned. Because it is one of his key picks and actually getting his hands on it this game, but into Bufu's Yasuo.
Yeah. For sure. Last game, I think for me, I would have liked to see a little bit more aggression out of Paddy the Tank. We saw the TP, we didn't see a cleanse, we didn't see as many flash engages or even engages as I probably would have liked from the Annie. So now with the LeBlanc, it's very dependent on you being aggressive and making plays for yourself with this pick. And into Yasuo, the trading is going to be powerful back and forth.
Definitely, and I'm more interested just to watch this jungle, just because it's
Yeah.
Mordekaiser versus Twitch. Mordekaiser's cooldowns are quite long early game, so if he misses one thing, he can actually get ran down quite easily by Twitch. Obviously, Mordekaiser can proc his passive on jungle camps, mainly the bigger creeps on like Raptors, for example, the bigger Krug, and obviously Red Blue, for example. So his jungle clear is actually quite decent and healthy. So that's not going to be an issue. It's just going to be whether Twitch can catch him with his pants down doing a jungle camp.
Yeah, see if Astro as well can get a bit more aggressive in this game, looking for the invades on the Twitch, and whether they choose to go for the classic level 2 Twitch gank strategy as well, whether Prime Tails are ready for that one, because it's been a hot minute since Twitch jungle has been a regular occurrence in most queues. So every single lane, dude, is just this crazy matchup that you have no idea how it's going to play out. I think if we're looking past the lane as well into how these team comps kind of fit together later on, it's a lot less cohesive, I think, for Esports Wales than game one. I felt like a lot of their champions did the same thing pretty well and they could fit together, but now like Twitch jungle along with LeBlanc mid lane is very squishy people. Shen has like so many targets he wants to be ulting here. I guess Yumi can just leave the Ezreal after lane phase and maybe just hang out on the Twitch for the rest of the game.
Yeah, potentially. It's definitely an option. Ezreal's able to be left on his own as it is, so having multiple targets for this Yumi is definitely going to be really useful in this game. Can even jump on LeBlanc and be happy there too, being able to set her up for any chains or any aggressive trades if she wants to go forward.
Yeah. It feels to me like I'm looking for anyone that can 1v1 Crown Killer in his ultimate in the mid-late stages, and I'm not sure if anybody can. Maybe, Ezreal with Cyrildas and he dodges the claw, maybe Twitch if he has flash up and his ultimate ready, like they could maybe just try and out damage it, but if you're left on top of Mordekaiser in the ult, I don't think anyone on that team is gonna come out happy.
Yeah, pretty much. Most of the targets from Mordekaiser are very, very good and very easy to stay on top of. LeBlanc might be the trickiest, but even then, I feel like you're more than fine taking LeBlanc out of a fight. So, in terms of options, you can ult anyone you want at this point.
Yeah, it's just your pick and choosing there. And I like to see that as we get into the loading screen. Let's take a look at some of the runes and masteries here. Twitch has gone for the Halo Blades, so a bit of extra, early game burst power with that one. We've got the Electrocute for LeBlanc as well, no TP there. So this is what I wanted to see, right? I wanted to see this mid-jungle duo get more aggressive with the picks that they have.
Yeah, I hope so for sure. And we have Grasp Alistair coming through, so I don't think it is going to be the Proto Belt, which people have been suggesting. More than likely just a chem tank build here. So just plain tank Alistair. Sometimes you see it on support anyway, just obviously not Grasp. So it's more or less going to be simple Alistair here.
Yes, and that's probably what they need, right? With Mordekaiser, Yasuo, Aurelion Sol, you do have a decent amount of mixed damage across the board here. The one thing they maybe lack is a bit of range. Thresh does have decent long range engage, and Alistar with flash up can be scary, but with Ezreal being able to stand very far back using the Mystic Shots and the mobility that Paddy the Tank has, it might be tough for Prime Tails to actually get a fight started if they want to try and go that way.
Yeah, for sure. I want to just pretty much see constant aggression from this game because it's all what these champions scream out. We scream out constant aggression all across the board.
Yeah. I am also at 10, matched up with our wonderful producer Travesty.
I am also at 10. So something what I actually know nothing about, Trajan, is this Aurelion Soul has lethal temper.
And a Doran's Blade.
And a Doran's Blade. I know absolutely nothing about this. So I am interested to see what's going on here. I'll probably do some research after this because I'm more curious about what's going on with some of these picks. They're very, very interesting for sure.
We can see another invade being thrown out by Prime Tails here, this time on the other side, but it's not being matched by Esports Wales this time, so they're going to get into this one free and clear, but with only a Twitch, Ezreal and Yumi to match them here. If they get caught up by Drift Banksy walking into the Thresh here, they're going to find themselves in the world of hurt. The hook lands, Death Sentence with the stun following up, and there's the first blood for the AD Aurelian Soul. Gonna go back, probably get himself a longsword or some crazy stuff.
Pain.
Pain.
Actual
Yep.
just pain. Ezreal skilled up his Q early, so
Oh.
even then, he had no chance of escaping. If you wait with your skills, boys, you can actually get away, funny enough. But
Yeah,
Ezreal
Aurelian
took
Soul-
Q, Ezreal didn't flash, and
No.
Aurelian Soul having a very nice lead with an extra longsword in board.
Yep, they are going to be sitting pretty with that one. The lethal tempo is very interesting here because it's not like a Halo Blades, it's not burst-wise, it's for scaling, you know, high AS damage going later into the game, which is very interesting considering, you know, Soul's ultimate knocks enemies away from him and is all designed about getting people into the range of the stars. I don't know if there is some hidden AD scaling on this champion that I don't know about. I doubt there is, but I guess we'll see how it performs as the game continues on.
So he actually has the same attack speed as Ezreal right now. Ezreal has 0.69, so I think Ezreal took double AD. Aurelian Soul have an 80 AD and 0.69 attack speed, so more or less level, but just higher up on AD right now with that longsword.
Yeah, feeling pretty happy with that one. Ezreal, of course, can stack a bit extra using the passive. We see some aggression on top side as well. Drift Banksy goes through with the flay. Isn't going to land the hook this time as Camille's forced to burn the flash and already lost a fair bit of health as well. All the summoners still available for the bot lane of Prime Tails too.
Yeah, all the summoners still available. And obviously, as soon as one stun lands, they're able to chain that pretty well.
Ooh,
Shen caught
lovely
out here.
headbutt by Ollie. He's going to punish the Shen. There's the tower shot. Oh, no. It's pain again, dude. It's just a double pain now.
That's going to be the summary of the series. Pain. Because Shen just received the hurt for sure. Twitch is here though.
Oh, gonna punish Ollie, trying to get the same combo, but the Shadow Dash ready. Ollie has to use the flash, but isn't gonna die to Astro. They had the perfect gank as well. Now Mordekaiser is here. This is going so well for Prime Tails. The psychic damage they are going to be doing to Esports Wales right now is huge.
Yeah, the mental damage for sure. Not going to be having a great time. Alistair thinking he's getting the drop on the Shen, TPing back early. No, he is not. There's a Twitch there early. And Yasuo is putting the hurt down on his LeBlanc. Forcing out the passive.
They're trading heavily here. Drift Banksy is there. Flash forward from Buffoo's not going to get the kill though. And Patty the tank is going to trade flash for flash, but they're going to survive.
If only Yasuo took Ignite. Yasuo took TP in this lane. This lane you know is going to be aggressive. So I think taking TP is more beneficial. But he wants to play more for the team. Taking TP. Not able to get the kill there. Very, very unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, hopefully we can get some value out of that one. The Buffoo did contribute a lot to the side lanes in game one, so TP maybe just the way that they like to play the game. Patty the tank actually sticking around in mid lane too, with Crown Killer and Yasuo there. Ollie now Hex flashing out with the brush, getting the headbutt pulverize combo, achieving not that much with the wave in their favor. DC7 still gonna lose out. The grass proc helping a little bit too.
Look at that damage coming through from that Alistair. And that's pretty much with no items, and he's trading really well onto the Shen, so you might catch me playing some Alistair later.
Yeah, we'll see it all over Rails match history later on tonight, with that passive giving him the healing as well. He's got a fair CS lead with the wave in his favor, just going for another headbutt pull from PC7 with no flash. Ollie with the stun stacked up, gets one kill. Shadow Dash already used, but there's no combo left to follow up. That's going to be the end of that play, I imagine. With Drift Banksy looks like stand a nice little hook onto Camille. Stun followed up, Captain Jack cleansed, but Zway and Drift Banksy gonna get that kill regardless. This bot lane is still snowballing.
It's so funny seeing AD already, and I can't get over it. It is so funny. And it's actually working pretty well. Getting that kill on that bot side, snowballing their lead even further. 0-2 Ezreal. Ezreal no TP, he took cleanse, so he's going to be punished even more for this.
Yeah, he's gonna now down 20 CS to Zwei in that bot side, plus Clates picking up. Astro has arrived in bot side now. He's tried a fair few lane attempts, but hasn't been able to make anything stick, just like last game, and is now very down in CS over Crown Killer, who's been able to focus on farming.
You know, Trajan, I hope we see Ezreal try to cleanse Mordekai's ult because it does not work.
Yeah.
You need QSS, so I want to see if this is what he's trying to get at. We don't know yet, but we might see it a bit later if he gets to that point. So far, Prime Tails are taking a very commanding lead to start off the game with 3 kills to none.
I would kind of just put the cap on this game so far, to be honest, in this series. That would just be the ultimate, you know, shattered mental after that point, when you take the cleanse and realize it doesn't do what you want it to do. But we'll have faith in Camille, give the benefit of the doubt as Astro has arrived in bot lane once again. Zwei easily landed to safety though, and there's the power of that Thresh. You can go in, you can get out.
Also, no early boots pickup on Twitch. He backed for an amp tone, which is interesting. You usually opt for early boots here, but not opting towards that. Trying to get his ganks off bot side again, but not getting anything done.
Not just yet, as we are at a almost 2.5k gold lead before the 7-minute mark for Prime Tails here. Coming off that game 1 win, they are keeping their momentum flowing here with the interesting picks. P7 dashes forward and doesn't let the C headbutt combination come off from Ollie, and is going to trade back pretty well for themselves this time. This is the only lane for Esports Wales that does have a CS lead still in their favor. PC7 keeping that from game 1.
Hold on, Trajan. Look at Mordekaiser's CS. This man is farming a storm, getting so far ahead of this Twitch, and getting his Legion Lair really early. So he's definitely building a commanding lead in the jungle and showing up mid lane.
Well, the tank doesn't have the dash anymore, and there's 3 members in your lane, but they're getting baited by the clone. They got taken in. A flash Q from Crown Killer won't get the kill on Astro with the slow, stacking up that passive. Patty the tank sneaks it from behind the tower to stand united. Actually well played there by LeBlanc, and the entire team of Prime Tails getting bamboozled.
That didn't just happen. My eyes can't believe it. That didn't just happen. They committed so much on the clone, and then they get punished for it. Mordekaiser flashing forward, but was it enough?
It was a 2 versus 1 in bot lane here. Camille, but the auto attacks are so strong from Zwei, and he gets the kill now with the minions in his favor. Streaker 150 trying to beat down this Aurelion Soul, but it's a 1 versus 2 double kill.
Zwei is showing that he does not care if you engage on him and commit everything. He is going to beat you 1v2 with Aurelion Soul AD. I think if Yuumi actually walked forward out of the W, I think Yuumi might have actually beat him there, but she didn't. She took the extra magic damage for free, and Zwei comes out on top, and they're going to pick up a dragon. 5 kills to 1, 13.8k gold to 11.1k.
Yeah, it's looking pretty dire for Esports Wales right now. I am just fascinated to see which mythic Zwei goes for on the Soul. I'm trying to think if Gale Force is even useful. I mean, it helps you reposition for your
I think
stars,
he's going
but,
Gale Force, I'm not going to lie.
the stars aren't useful, right? Like, the stars are not a part of this champion once you get past the 20-minute mark with no AP, surely.
Hey, you got AP elsewhere in your team, it doesn't matter.
I guess. Yeah, I guess so. Well, looks like it might be the Gale Force.
It's going to look hilarious seeing Aurelion Soul Gale Force, but here we are.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see that one before my very eyes. Crown Killer was hanging around that bot lane, but Camille and Streaker 150, given the respect that he deserves, actually going to step past this rush now and get pulled in. But Crown Killer actually mistimes the Q, and now Camille is in the death realm with no ultimate. It might not matter, though, as Camille using the flash to get on the edge, but walks, comes out of the death realm, straight into 3 members, and Zwei picks up their 4th kill of the game.
Someone in chat pretty much summed it up really well. I'm confused, but I'm liking it.
Yeah.
And that's just the summary of this game so far. I'm very confused of what's actually going on, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying seeing some Aurelion Soul getting fed. 4 kills on Aurelion right now. 87 CS 50.
This is why we tune into Val's League on the Mondays and Thursdays, everybody. Astro getting aggressed on by Zwei. Andrea Banksy dropped very low by the ultimate ignite, but is going to survive. Yuumi there. Switching over to Camille. New carry subbed in for this bot lane. with the health a little bit low for Sway and Drift Banksy, they're going to have to take this L.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to take this L at the moment. Twitch not being able to get much off in this game so far. Trying to catch up on CS on this Mordekaiser. So far, this mid lane has been all Yasuo.
Oh, get the last breath, though. Isn't going to find any more. Dashes forward using the clone as leverage, but it's going to take a power shot. Patty the tank goes straight into that wind wall, and Bafu drops very, very low. Both of these champions could find the burst at a moment's notice.
Mordekaiser just building an even bigger lead in this jungle now, 77 CS. They've got CS leads all across the board except for top lane here, so pretty much in a very dire state for Esports Wales right now. They need to find some way back into the game without being choked out of too much resources.
Yeah, we need to just find some sort of play that Astro can get some gold on him, because I've seen AP Twitches carry games, you know, so often, but they need to get some gold. They need to accelerate forward to get to the point where they're doing damage, otherwise no one's going to be able to match Crown Killer, as we said before, and they potentially need to have an additional 1300 gold for the QSS to even make the matchup playable, and being down in gold this far already, plus the 1300 QSS tax, I don't know how they're ever going to get their items.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either. It's going to be very, very rough for them. They need to find them picks in the side lanes, or potentially have Twitch catch someone out, recalling, or just finding them on their own. Right now, very, very hard to get anyone caught out. Aurelion Sol has Gale Force completed as well.
He's got it. He's got the Gale Force. There it is. Camille stepping forward straight into that stun. Drift Banksy happy to cover on the downside there. Astro is down here once again, though, so if they can find some aggression with that Yumiel, it's actually a 3 versus 3, as Bafu has arrived in this bottom side, but Yasuo, the one champion for Prime Tails that actually hasn't got that much done so far, chooses to go aggressive, but out comes the final chapter, only gets the root to Drift Banks, you know, Arcane Barrage will land across the two carries, and now can they follow up with Stand United? Shen going aggressive, Astro finds their first kill again, Bafu over the wall, straight into the waiting arms of Patty the Tank 0-1, and it's a TP back to that top lane, but there's already a Herald down there, there's two people in that lane. Looks like Shen could find themselves in the wrong end of a two-man dive.
This is definitely what they needed. They needed to make something happen before they lose too much resources. And actually, the Herald doesn't get the dash off.
Didn't even get anything done.
So the Herald play meant nothing. Ezreal here, though.
He still gets stunned, though, but has the exhaust time. Maybe they can get it done. Gale Force is still there. There's the damage and the burst for the repositioned Sway. The theory crafting before our very eyes throws out the ultimate as well. It's going to get another 2v1 double kill. What is happening? Oh, well, that's what's happening.
Indeed. Yasuo might actually burn down here. The poison is ticking on him.
It's AP poison as well, but he's got the healing coming through from that Vamp Scepter keeping him alive and gets that kill in mid.
Not enough. Aurelion's still styling in a 1v2 again. Gale Force executing Ezreal. There's no
What's the build now?
I have no idea.
It's because so it's Gale Force. Normally people who are going Gale Force, they'll go for AS, right? If we got lethal tempo, so it's going to get an AS item most likely. So RFC doesn't seem to make any sense because you're once again you're trying to keep them in range of your stars, right? But so keeping themselves at long range doesn't make any sense. Maybe Phantom Dancer gives them ghosting to move around really quickly and reposition.
I would lean towards PD. I think that's the best option.
Yeah.
But hey, this is AD Aurelion, so we might see Runans, we might see something else. I have no idea anymore.
Maybe we'll see Serpent's Fang. Why not, dude? Just build the Serpent's Fang.
I think it's the PD because he has his heal, he has a long sword in his infantry, so more or less leaning towards that PD here.
Yeah, and he's got that sort of Drift Banks. He's going to find a hook straight onto Patty the Tank, and now Bafu happy to follow up there. Didn't quite have the last breath to commit. Now, we see another attempt at the 1 versus 2, and Sway with a godlike kill under their tower this time. Every time they fight, it just gets worse.
Just
gets by Drift Banksy with the blade, with the box, with the ignite. Can he get the kill in the 1 versus 1 dive? There's the kill, and he doesn't even fall. That is just stylish beyond belief.
Where's the flash of the mastery? Where's it at? That's what I'm waiting for.
It's gotta be that, man. He's earned it.
That would be me if I did that. I'd be like, okay. Statement sent. I've just solo killed you, Blanc.
This is Prime Tails just in their element right now. They got that first win. They did have to work for it. They had to play well in game 1 to get it. This time, they have drafted something which, despite being a bit of a meme, according to someone in chat, so unverified but potentially, they have been scrimming this before. So this is something they have worked on, and they are looking really quite proficient on it and abusing that lack of matchup knowledge very powerfully.
Yep. Yep, for sure. And it looks like Shen is not having fun in that top side, being bashed around by that Alistair. I mean,
No.
I wouldn't imagine he
anything, right?
would. You can't actually stay on top of him. And Alistair just returns down damage with Trample anyway. So you're not going to have a great time, and you're always going to get stunned off it.
Yeah. Now that he's got items, he's got the Merc Treads, he's got Families and a Null Magic Mantle, he's not really taking that much damage. He just can't really do anything in return. It's Bafu now going to get caught in the 1 versus 4 as Stand United's coming through, and this should be an easy kill onto the Astro. Astro going to be the recipient of that once again. Does have the Nash's Tooth as well, so there's room for Astro to scale up if they can stabilize and just stop giving Zwei gold. They might be able to fight their way back into this one, but that's perhaps easier said than done as Patty the Tank goes straight into a stun and actually does decent trading damage back. Astro could look to punish this one. Drift Banksy with no hook. Can they get the kill, the legendary Sway? But there's the shutdown into Astro's pocket. That's going to be a huge packet of gold for this Twitch. Looking to get the pressure. Doesn't get hit by the Death Sentence, but Crown Killer has Death Realm stepping in behind him, and there is nowhere left for you to go, Twitch. Mordekaiser passes the Whirling Steel, burning away, and that's going to be the kill.
Yeah, nowhere left to run. Even a little bit of BM on his dead body.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he does pick up a shutdown, but it doesn't matter because Mordecai, look how far ahead he still is in that jungle matchup. He is still 30 CS up in this matchup, and he has his Riftmaker. He doesn't care. Generally, he will 1v1 you at every stage of the game without issue.
Yeah, we are really quickly getting to that point that we talked about in draft where just no one can deal with Crown Killer if he's just let alone to do his thing going forward. And like I say, we're approaching that place pretty fast. It was in fact the PD for the Aurelian Soul, so good job us for getting the guess on that. We've got a pickaxe here now. I'm hoping it's an Infinity Edge, just to go full ham, as Patty the Tank is going to be assaulted by Bafu. Dashes straight into the Mortal Steel, actually, and he's going to once again use the clone to bait them away. But still getting pretty hard traded on.
I mean, I feel like they're loving the clone. I feel like they're just trying to collect that extra gold at this point. Talking of collecting extra gold, poor man, PC7
dashes away, and the Gale Force from Sway doesn't actually get it done as they dash behind the tower, and there's the 0 damage ultimate, not really sealing the deal as Bafu once again getting chased away. Windwall will happily block up the Arcane Barrage, and Patty the Tank, though, with Yuumi and Toe drops the final chapter and a final dash forward, will get another kill. So Bafu is giving away a fair amount of gold, it must be said.
He is indeed, and Bafu falling down to a typical Yasuo trait. Yasuo, you know, getting caught off on the side or dying all the time. Wouldn't be Yasuo, would it? Wouldn't be Yasuo.
Gotta at least keep things consistent here with so many random, volatile, unknown elements in this game. The one thing we can rely on is that Yasuo is inting it inside lane, so we can at least get some comfort from that, as the Ref Herald will be picked up by the side of Prime Tails. They've already got all 3 outers down, and we'll see where they choose to drop it.
The scary thing is, if they 5-man group, they still have Yasuo Alistair. That is still on the table, and still very, very scary to deal with because of a 4-man Alistair knockup, a 3-man Alistair knockup. Your team is just going to get obliterated. I mean, you already kind of are getting a bit bullied at this stage. 33k gold to 27. You have found some shutdowns, but so far it hasn't been enough. More or less everything is lying on this Twitch at this moment.
Yeah, Astro has to be the carry here, and it looks like by his build path, he's actually foregoing the Mythic again to go towards the Zhonya's Hourglass. And I mean, Zhonya's Hourglass feels like a nice item to have against this team, but having so much time without your Mythic could really slow down this Twitch's effectiveness, and when the whole game is resting on their shoulders, they might just run out of time.
Ezreal is building towards his Mythic right now as well. Currently has his Mana Moon completely finished, and is working towards that Divine Sunder of it.
Yeah, good choice. Alistair top, fresh, full tank, with a Mountain Soul potentially being on the board here. That first dragon, or first mountain I should say, is going to be taken relatively easily. It's going to be the 3rd in a row for Prime Tails, meaning they are now on the Soul Point.
They are on the Soul Point, and Anti-Dragon definitely going to help negate some buff. And talking of buff,
Beautiful Steel Tempest, but Bafu eats the exhaust in return, and now a stun. Dashing forward from PC7. Ollie, though, knocking them back into the team, and Crown Killer controlling the space on the far side. Astro in the Death Realm, but he's staying alive, and he actually lives under the tower. So Crown Killer goes down, and the tower hasn't quite fallen just yet. So Astro is so very low.
he is very low, and we talked about him needing to be the main carry. So far, he still hasn't been able to do too much. He does have the most kills on the team at this point. Just needs to be getting towards them items a bit quicker. He's working towards that Zhonya's, like you mentioned. Losing out on that Mythic is really scary here. Because I feel like that Riftmaker is going to help you so much more.
Yeah, if he's going to have to be taking these extended fights with Crown Killer, probably in the Death Realm over and over again, having that extended sustained damage is going to give him a better chance in that situation. So it's going to be a while till he gets there, but, you know, he is getting there piece by piece. And the gold lead has kind of stagnated at about, at about 6 or 7k, so it's still pretty significant. But, you know, these fights aren't going as badly as they were early on.
Definitely not. They're definitely starting to claw back bit by bit. But this could also be Prime Tails playing with them. I'm not going to sell it too much on that, because obviously there has been some slightly monkey throws from Yasuo in the side lane, I will say, to be the least. So far this Aurelion is kind of untouched. He's very hard to actually kill or shut down. He's 8-1-2 and is building towards that Infinity Edge as we speak.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one, a big spike there. But, you know, it's been a while since we saw the Aurelion Soul get a 2v1 double kill, so it seems like at least Camille and Streaker have learnt their lesson after the third or fourth attempt to just let Sway alone and try and win the game elsewhere. But they are playing pretty safely right now. They kind of have to. I mean, in terms of finding picks, you've got Patty the Tank can maybe look for burst, but is behind on items. Yumi Ultimate's quite slow and can get wind walled. You know, Astro can look for the burst, but you've got to set up with your ultimate for that. There's just kind of a lack of aggressive options on the table for Esports Wales right now.
There definitely is a lack of options for them right now. They need to be trying to drag people to side lanes. I think that's your best scenario. Drag someone to side lane and try get Twitch to help you ambush them. Because right now, you really don't have many other options. Twitch is still your main damage. LeBlanc is still only on one item. Just picked up Assault Boots right now. And this might be exactly what we just asked for.
Yeah, they might look for this fight though, but I think they see the Mordekaiser, and 2 versus 3 is not good enough odds for them to take this one. They're going to call that mission off, and probably pretty reasonably so. Something I want to draw attention to is just the unbroken line of red vision across this map. They're aware that Twitch needs to kind of flank invisible behind you, so they've got pinks all over the jungle, tons of red wards across there, and they're playing around this vision line, keeping themselves safe. So I love that play by Prime Tails as Drift Banksy now trying to use it. Oh, a great attempt at the prediction hook. I love the shot there. Really almost made it. So good job by Drift Banksy, but wasn't quite able to get it secured here.
My question for you, Trajan. Are you going to try Aurelion Soul in your solo queues or normal games and see if you like it?
I tried to play Jhin, that didn't work. I've tried playing Senna, that's not worked. I've tried Ezreal, that's not worked. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to pull out the 80 Aurelion Soul and just rush that Gale Force, because it's looking pretty hot right now.
Yeah, it might be something you've been sleeping on. It might be something we've all been sleeping on.
Because... Imagine sleeping on 80 Aurelion Soul, the fools.
It seems like such a meme to be saying it as well, but it's paying off. They're showing that their practice with this pick is actually showing up. It's showing that they've been so hard to deal with, especially bot lane. Just the 1v2s constantly happening.
That's why I say it every time I come onto Val's League, is meta does not matter in Val's League. It's about what you can play. And Zway has shown he can play a mean Aatrox, and Drift Banksy's Thresh ain't been half bad as well. It's been playing that one very well. They've been abusing the CC combos. Thresh obviously with decent base damages too. Astro is going to look to maybe pick a fight here. Drift Banksy comes in. There's no wind wall for the final chapter. Can Astro stay alive though, as he's currently in zone into the death zone? Flashes over the wall though, going to keep himself alive, and the rest of Esports Wales are fighting out in the rest of the jungle. Astro comes out with the Yumi. Can they find anything? Bafu gets that first kill, slides forward onto Patty the Tank. Ollie, though, being a frontliner, doesn't land the pulverize, and so far it's just one kill. PC7, the only one to fall. Patty the Tank dives forward, tries to get Bafu, but gets CC chained up and has to slip away. can't find anything. Prime Tails, they're so far ahead on gold.
They are so far ahead. I'm impressed that Patty the Tank actually got out alive there.
Yeah.
Jumping back to his original position, not the ult position, saving his own life. But they are going to lose soul here, which is definitely going to hurt their burst, because right now they've been banking on their burst coming up strong, and it just hasn't been enough.
Yeah, Mountain Soul feels particularly potent for Prime Tails in this game. Ollie and Drift Banksy are absorbing so much, and even Crown Killer as well, who's still only on 1.5 items, but is going to get so much HP, and if they end up building like the Zhonya's down the line, and maybe a Demonic Embrace, and they're going to start getting more value out of these Mountain Breaks, it's going to be even tougher to burn through them, and they had enough of a trouble already. Astro would flash down as well now. The next time he gets Mordekaiser ulted, might not be so lucky.
At this point, they could actually just look to Baron, and I don't think the side of Esports Wales could even stop him. Ezreal doesn't even have tier 2 boots at this stage of the game.
Jesus. Yeah,
Just
06
saying.
and 4 has not been Camille's game this game so far. Looking at a 3.5 item AD Aurelion Soul. Crown Killer now is getting chased out of the jungle by Patty the Thief, and Streaker 150 dropping the ultimates there. PC7 is here, but might look to just disengage. Astro still quite a way away. Buffoon comes in with the wind wall, splitting up that fight. Astro comes through, but another TP from Prime Tails is supporting this fight. A taunt lands onto Buffoon. He's got no wind wall. He's going to get shot down by Astro, but Ollie straight onto with the headbutt pulverized. Drift Banksy comes around the corner, doesn't land the hook, but Sway on the backside snaps up that kill with the Gale Force proc and flashes over the wall to keep the fight going. AD Aurelion Soul will take nose for an answer. Ollie following as well, and the dive just kicks off. Prime Tails playing with so much confidence now. Drift Banksy steps up with the box, finds that hook. Ollie with the pulverize and a play, keeps them out of danger. Patty the Tank dashes back forward but can't find anything. Prime Tails cannot put a foot wrong here. The Baron is wide open.
This is the most entertaining game I have casted in a very, very long time. And I'm enjoying these random picks. I shouldn't even say random because they're practiced. I enjoy these cheese picks they're pulling out. This Alistar's coming up big. The Aurelion Soul is then coming up big. Then Alistar's showing again what Alistar top is actually kind of good.
Yeah.
And they just have no answers to this comp.
It's looking kind of nice right now for sure. The comp fits together really well. Maybe it's just against the comp they're playing at Esports Wales, but the CC combos that they can just kind of roll over each other again and again with Thresh hooks and Alistar combos, having both of these champions on your team means you're constantly being knocked up and pushed back and hooked here and, you know, stunned there, and there's just nothing you can do to get out of that chain CC, and it all enables Yasuo the whole time as well.
I feel like any team are going to be scared of playing against this comp, and rightfully so, I will say. Rightfully so. There's many tools of engage, there's many tools of disengage. Even Aurelion, not being AP still, he still provides that disengage. He still has a stunning, he still has a knockback. Even that knockback can be used for a Yasuo combo. You have every tool on the board what you need. You have a decent early game. They've scaled into mid-late game. And they still have tools to keep going then. It's just a really well-rounded comp, despite the picks alone.
Does the Mordekaiser E activate Yasuo ult as well? I think it might do. Not sure.
Yeah, because Darius pull activate Yasuo ult.
Literally
So it's
every
just the
champion on Prime Tails can activate Buffoon's last breath. So he's got options out the wazoo in this game, as they've now got both bot lane and top lane shoving in with the Baron empowered wave. Astro just looking with Yuumi, trying to find a way to get some picks on maybe here. Buffoon in the bot side has been a good option in the past, but Crown Killer guarding that wave makes it very, very dangerous then to commit to anything.
Yeah, it's very, very dangerous to commit to any fight at all. Alistar just doesn't care. You've engaged on him. He's going to run you down. You don't have the damage.
This is painful, man. PC7 taking so much damage. Ollie now choosing to tank up the tower, has the ultimate if needed, and Sway is here to follow it up with the stun and the damage. A hook from Drift Banksy will seal the deal. Patty the tank comes in, but forced to flash and go golden. Ollie will fall to Camille, at least with the ultimate, but another hook. Drift Banksy sneaks it onto Camille, and Sway will not be denied on the AD Aurelion Soul. It's a triple kill for him, as the inhibs are now going to crumble.
Man, I can't get over seeing Aurelion Soul with Gale Force. That stuff is just really, really funny to see. You're just seeing him with the damage. Look at it.
He comes through, but what can he do against the CC and the damage? Drift Banksy just cannot miss right now. And Streaker trapped in the Death Realm with Crown Killer as Yuumi plays go. That is not where you want to be. The towers have fallen and Prime Tails demonstrated their power at the top of the table. Esports Wales, relegations are coming up fast. You've got to be wary now.
Yeah, you definitely need to be wary, and I think everyone needs to be wary of this comp to play against.
Yeah.
Like, they have this in their back pocket. If you slip up once, they pull out this comp, and what is your answer? And the honest answer is you probably don't have one.
Yeah, I mean, the answer I guess would maybe have to be some great hard engage of your own. If you can get on top of Aurelion Sol, the one thing that always wrecks with Aurelion Sol is champions that can stick on top of him. So it's things like the Alistar. However, the comp that Prime Tails took, they already sniped away the Alistar, just slapped it in the top lane and had a grand old time. And that's one of the biggest, detractors for Aurelion Sol taken off the table.
Yeah, for sure. And even the Gale Force alone actually is going to be another dash for him as well, making even more harder to get on top of. And he just has a comp around him just saying, if you go on me, Yasuo gets your backline. Mordekaiser's already going to steal someone to the Death Realm. Like, you do not have answers to this comp unless you practice thoroughly against this, which you won't be given a chance unless you're playing against them.
Yep, absolutely not. Checking in with the damage graphs as well. Of course, Sway topping the tables with over 21,000 damage, over 6k more than Astro on the other side. And Astro was very much the solo carry, potentially, of Esports Wales there. Definitely had a better game than last time, but it was a similar story early on that they were very much stifled and unable to get anything going, get any gold for themselves. And when the lane matchups are going that badly because they're getting cheesed and they're losing out in this lack of matchup knowledge, you need to have somebody scaling up to match the damage as soon as possible, and it just wasn't able to get there.
Trajan, I have some news here. Aurelion Sol, his largest crit this game was 1,567.
That's a Jin number. That's not an Aurelion Sol number. What is happening? I mean, he's got 3 items completed, and one of them is an eye edge, sure, but I feel like you're not supposed to get numbers like that without playing Jin. How is this happening?
Who expects this big dragon to come flying over to your team just to spit on someone for a 1,500 crit and just be like, okay, time for you to die?
That is nuts. Truly insane that it's dealing that much damage. So I guess we'll see the Aurelion Sol ban coming through in the future, because you cannot disrespect this pick unless you can maybe get that Alistar taken away. So, I mean, let's go for a player of the game for this one. Once again, plenty of options for Prime Tails, and with a lot of interesting picks coming through, it's hard to really find.
I mean, I'm just giving it straight to ASOL, just for them 1v2 bot lane.
Yeah.
And just the constant entertainment of the ASOL alone was just, that's put it up there for me. And the two 1v2s obviously speak for itself, just snowboarded ASOL even more, and just shown, he demonstrated really well how you can't deal with this unless you practice against it.
We've actually got Zwei, the man himself, ready for an interview about to come in here, guys. So we can ask a little bit more about this pick. And I guess, once again, an in-person congratulation will be in order for the MVP that he secured. I want to give some props to Drift Banksy as well, for sure. The hooks that this guy were landing were really, really nuts. All the way through the game, he was landing the CC needed for Prime Tails to snowball every fight. It's not just getting one kill, it's always one kill into another pick, into another pick, into another pick. And I think Drift Banksy did a great job securing that.
Yeah, for sure. And right now we have Sway joining us, so the ASOL himself, so we can get a little bit more in depth about this and find out a bit more about it.
Well,
How you
I'm feeling very good. Always fun to play the Aurelion Sol. But yeah.
Do you get to play it on stage much, or is this the first time you've actually brought out a stage game, or is it a known pick for you?
So there was an All Stars. I played Gale Force ASOL in an ARAM. After that, I was told by iZero that if I did not play it at least once in the regular season, I would be banned. So I really had no plan.
Wow.
So
Good
you're
job
forced
for-
onto it, and now you've just flexed on absolutely everyone with it already. And it looks like people just don't have options to deal with it because the built-in CC obviously helping set up any support to deliver their CC on top of it.
Yeah, Isar maybe did me a favor.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was definitely very, very assisted there. But it's so we mentioned that the 1500 damage crit that this champion has. Like, would you count yourself as a bit of an ASOL like aficionado at this point, or is it just like, well, I played it once in ARAM and I had to play it in regular season. It just seems surprisingly good, or have you like done some theory crafting and thinking about this pick?
I was thinking about it a bit. I think I optimized my bit in my build a bit from last time. I think last time it was Gale Force into Ronans into IA, but I wasn't feeling the Ronans. Went for Phantom Dancer instead, so yeah.
Mhm.
Feels shameful to say, but yes, I did theory craft ADA Soul.
Yeah, we were having fun trying to guess what you were going to build next during the cast. So it gave us a
Yeah,
little bit of extra dynamic to go through there.
same here,
I
to be
guess
honest.
yeah, I guess going through the context of this win as well, you're now still on top of the league with a 5-0 record, I believe, just one more match to play, and this is or two more matches potentially to play. I'm not sure. But you're at the top of this division, and you've now played most, if not all, of the teams. Are there any other teams that you feel like are ready to challenge you? Are you keeping up with the other side of Division 3 as well?
Um, I don't feel scared of any team. I think in our group, obviously Div 3B was rated as a really, really bad group. Everyone thought that all the bad teams were in there, except for us, of course.
Nice.
But I think HH will definitely surprise in playoffs, which I expect them to get. I think people have been writing them off for a very long time, and I think they are better than quite a few Div 3B teams. But when you look over at Div 3B, I think it's obviously DVA, Snowflakes, and XLR. XLR I haven't seen too much of. They seem good from what I've seen. DVA, I'm not scared of. I think they're way too passive to be able to contest us. I think we can outplay them early game. Snowflakes, I'm not sure. We haven't scrimmed them. I haven't seen too much of them, but I think if there's any team to beat us, it's Snowflakes.
Sure. That did feel like you were able to exploit the passivity of Esports Wales Ice today sometimes as well, especially with this in the first game when you kind of they needed to get aggressive on top of you and had this full shield comp, and you were once again you were set up to be the primary carry of that game. How comfortable do you feel being like literally the whole game is on my shoulders, everyone is built around getting me to succeed?
It's a style that I've gotten used to playing, so it was a bit. I was a bit nervous in the beginning, but now I've gotten so used to it that it's normal, and I don't think it's even just me. Obviously, I don't have to do much when I have, Ivan, Morgana, everything just shielding me.
Yeah, it showed your comfort because you guys obviously kind of ran down the invade,
Yeah,
which punished you a little bit early. But in the end, it didn't mean anything because they weren't able to push any of their leads. Your jungler was constantly stopping any ganks from the enemy jungler happening. And it just got to
yeah,
a point where you could just run them down.
for sure. Crown played really well today. I mean, I think he always does, but I think today was a standout performance, especially in game one.
Yeah, he had a excellent day, and when he's drawing Viego bans as well every game, like you're just getting more and more free bans as the season goes on. We're gonna put the ASOL on there as well now. Like no one's gonna be able to ban meta against you guys.
No, this is just the way it is. 3 autobans.
Yeah, easy peasy. Do you have any more questions, Rail? I think that's all for me.
I think that's pretty much everything. I think a lot of teams are going to turn their attention towards Prime Tails off these games. Obviously, Prime Tails still undefeated as well, so definitely all eyes on Prime Tails right now.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, congratulations again for the win. Good luck in the rest of your games. And yeah. I guess that will be us for the stream here as well. We'll give a quick sign off for Val's League. Always happy to be back here and up onto Division 3 as well. Usually I get Division 4 games, but today I get into Division 3 and you guys give me an AD Aurelion Soul, so couldn't be happier with that one. To be sure, of course, thank you very much to Rail for casting for me as usual. Always love the duo. And Travesty for streaming for us despite being, in his own words, dead before this stream started. So good job by him, and I thought the stream was nice and clean as always. So thank you everyone for watching. This has been Valance League Division 3. Keep tuning in on the Mondays and Thursdays. Playoffs is coming around the corner real soon. You do not want to miss these matches. Thank you everybody for watching. We will see you all soon.